Do you ever feel stuck in the rat race? Life doesn't have to be that way if you're willing to put in the work. In Bigger Vision, Chris Garrison helps you discover the keys to abundance, freedom, and personal growth that let you live the life of your dreams. And now, here's your host, Chris Garrison.
Welcome, everybody. It's Chris Garrison, your host for the Bigger Vision podcast. Appreciate y'all showing up and listening. My topic today is breaking the code because that's what we think it is. We think there's a code to break, and there kind of is a code. But the reality is you have to break it every single day. Today was an extremely tough day. Things just snowballed effect kind of on me. I had a lot of breaks in our systems at my company, and those type days are frustrating. It's extremely difficult to just hold your emotions, your attitude, and everything together when you just get hit. And when you're moving through life and you're trying to push something and really build, and you start taking those hits, those are the moments that are actually building you into what you need to be so that you can do what you want to do in the future is what it boils down to. So don't despise those moments, as hard as it is to remember it and to be grateful for the opportunity of growth while all of that is happening. That is actually what is taking place. You are growing. It's the gym analogy is used a lot, but there's a reason it's used so often. And it's just simply because when you're being broke down from weight, then your muscles build back. You build back stronger after you've been broke down. So today was just one of those days for me. And it really made me think about, what is the code to life? What is the code to success? And it boils down to taking action. That means taking action on what are you learning? How are you bettering yourself today? It means taking action on the things that you have learned. What are you actually doing in response to the education that you've gathered? What kind of value are you bringing to the marketplace so that someone will be interested in what you have to offer for a price? It just boils down to action. So what actions are you taking? Are you just going in and doing what is required of you each day and then you're one and done for that day? Or are you taking your efforts home and you're educating yourself while you're sitting down? Or are you entertaining yourself? Because if you're entertaining yourself, that's fantastic and that has its place in life. But you better be educating yourself if you're trying to grow. You better be educating yourself if you want to see any type of movement in your life for the better. I, as a leader, sit here and I look at my businesses, and when I see there are inefficiencies, I realize that it falls back on me. So I immediately have to reflect on myself and say, where am I going wrong? What systems do I not have in place? What training needs to be done? What people need to be moved around, or what positions need to be designed so that I can fill these gaps and these inefficiencies that we have going on in life and in this business. So today I saw a lot of inefficiencies. To get real transparent, we were doing a fire cleanup for a customer and we had some contents break, some dishes, some actually expensive dishes. So I asked the question, why? And I get to looking, and it's because a box bottom fell out because we did not tape the box properly. So it was a very simple fix that goes back to training. But because we did not have proper training or we did not follow the procedures that were set in place, now we have possible dissatisfied customer because we've broke something and we're going to have to come out of pocket to get it replaced. So as long as we can replace it, I don't think there's going to be issues with our customer service. But if we can't find this, if it's an irreplaceable item, then that could be a problem. Another thing that I've come into contact with is we keep missing tools. We just resupplied all of these tools, and now we've had tools come up missing in a matter of a week because we don't have accountability set in place in the level that it needs to be set right now. We've just recently hired a person to fill that position to hold these inefficiencies, to fix these inefficiencies, and hold our team accountable for the standard operating processes that they're supposed to be doing. But we've not fully got into that capacity yet. So literally within a week, we've lost some tools. So these things they just start hitting me and compounding on me throughout the day to the point to where I start seeing my attitude change. And then when I start to feel that, also, I start going through our CRM system and looking at our processes of communication. And I realize we've clicked on a job segment that's supposed to be tomorrow. We missed today's segment and clicked on tomorrow's segment. So now we're jacking up the process of how we're processing this job based off its scheduling. I also am trying to find some information on a job, and I see that we don't have any private notes sitting in the job file. So I have no clue what's even going on. And if I can't tell what's going on, then that means everybody else in the company, except for the individuals that are on that job every single day, they're the only ones that'll be able to say and tell a story about this. And probably they can't either. So these just compounded, and I had to sit back and say, Chris, you got to control your emotions. You got to control your feelings at the moment, because in this state, you're not going to fix anything. You're probably going to harm more than anything else, because you're in the position that you just want to go through and start cutting people. That's what we have to be careful of, because emotions are great. But if you allow emotions to drive you, a lot of times they will drive you in a direction that is not healthy for your desires in life. You got to pull back and you got to take a new perspective. Because if I am laying on the ground from taking hit after hit after hit, my perspective is not going to be the same as if I'm standing up in a chair and I'm able to see a higher view of everything else. Because when I get elevated on that chair, now I can see past all of the balls that are coming at me. I can see past all of the distractions that are sitting on the ground level. But when I'm laying on the ground, all I see is debris. And that debris will cloud your vision of where you're trying to go. And it will frustrate you, and it will cause you to abort your mission too soon. And I sat back and I said, Chris, remember, gratitude breaks this stress. Gratitude breaks this feeling. So I had to sit and think, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I actually have a team, because there are companies, especially the restaurants, that struggle just finding enough staff members to even open their doors right now. So I'm grateful that I've got a team. I'm grateful that I have a team that actually keeps a happy personality and attitude about them during the day. They may not be executing at 100%, but at least their attitude is good. I'm happy that we still have revenue coming in, and we still have a fan base of customers from prior jobs that we've done, and still getting 5-star reviews from customers that we're taking care of now. So the whole system's not broke. And this is what happens when we start seeing the negativities and the inefficiencies. They start to overshadow all of the good. And we have to be conscious enough to pull ourselves back and remember there are things to be grateful for, so that we can flip ourselves back into this positive mindset, because nothing comes good from a negative mindset except excuses and depression. But a positive mindset coming from an attitude of gratitude will take you as far as you want to go. So that's why I wanted to talk about breaking the code, because that is the code breaker right there, because you're going to have hits often, and you're going to have hits when you least desire them. Most of the time they come back to back to back. It's because you start getting in that train of thought and you start noticing all of these things that are wrong. But if you'll pull yourself back and remind yourself that there's things to be grateful for, and you will focus on the things that you are grateful for and the good things that are in your life, because I don't care whose life it is, what's going on, there is something to be grateful for. If the person that has no clothes, that's been abused, that has no friends, that has no roof over the head, living under a bridge in a third world country, whatever the case is, can still smile because they found something to drink that day, and they can find gratitude, then you can most definitely find gratitude in your life, because your belly is probably full. Your mouth, your thirst is quenched. You've got clothes on your back. You've got a house to go to. You've got a job to go to. You've got income coming in. There's so much to be grateful for. So now that we're grateful and we have controlled our emotions and our thought processes, what are we going to do to that? How are we going to start building off of that momentum? This is what you need to be doing. You need to be pumping yourself full of educational content, motivational content. And then you need to start taking action and applying what you're learning. And you need to start giving as much as you can possibly give in any area that you can possibly give to, because now you're adding value. And as you begin to add value to as many areas as you can, the law of reciprocity is going to kick in. And you are going to receive back way more than what you have given. I want you to be encouraged because today was a tough day for me. And this is a reality of every one of us in life. Not every day is the beach, the sun, the roses, and everything else that is good about life. Many days are going to throw the curveball at you, and you've got to know how to hit. And you're going to hit it with gratitude. You're going to hit it with gratitude, and then you're going to keep moving on the basics of success, which is making sure that you pump yourself full of motivational and educational content. The influences that are in your life need to be good, positive influences. They need to lift you up so that your perspective sees a high level and you're able to see past the debris that lays on the ground. And then you're going to apply that with action. You're not going to sit back in fear thinking failure or obstacles are going to come again. You're going to apply it with action and you're going to move forward. And then third thing is you're going to make sure with that action you're bringing value. You're bringing something, you're giving something, you're leading with something. I have this one person that is constantly contacting me, and it's this sob story. I've had these breaks, man, just help a brother out, that kind of stuff. And I've really pulled back. At first, I started responding to him, and I was like, this is an attitude change that needs to take place. And he's not changing his attitude. He's just going to suck me dry. And then he's going to move on as soon as I get tired of responding and call me someone that just doesn't care and a false motivator, whatever. They're going to figure something out. So I just pulled myself back away, and I was thinking about there's an attitude shift that's going to have to take place in this dude, because as long as he's got the I'm down on my luck and nobody out there wants to help me and I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but never puts action behind that talk, he will never see a change in his life. If you want change, you've got to change something. So let's change our life for the better. Let's allow our life that is now better change other people's lives by setting an example. So lead by giving value, and then you will receive value back most of the time through money if you are putting it into the business aspect of things, if you're putting it into that analogy. So I hope you guys live in success. I hope that you apply what I was speaking on today, because it's helped me out in so many situations to where I was just tired. I just got hit over and over again. And I remind myself of what I'm thankful for, and it takes that heavy cloak off of me. And then I make sure that I follow through with pumping in something motivational and inspirational and educational. And then I put action behind it. And boom, I'm back on the trail, sprinting again. That's how I'm able to turn over so much success over and over again. It's because I don't quit, and you can't quit, because your life depends on it, because your future depends on it, because your family and friends and people you don't even know that's watching you are depending on you to make sure you don't quit, because you are their inspiration. You don't even realize it. They're watching you move forward every single day. And the ones that are fortunate enough to watch you take the hits and keep moving are even more impressed and even more motivated that they can do it as well. So until next time, let's grow together. I want you guys to put into action something that you've taken from this. And if you don't mind doing me a favor and going on whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on, give me a 5-star review. Say something in the notes that you liked or that you disliked or that you would like to hear more about. And this will boost me up the algorithm so that other people can capture these podcasts, and hopefully it will help them live in success and we can all grow together.
This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.